If you've built the empire, the brand, the business, but you don't feel safe taking off the mask in your closest relationships, then you haven't succeeded. You've just escaped. You can have millions in the bank, a body most men would kill for, and a calendar full of wins, and you could still go to bed feeling numb, disconnected, and unseen. Most high-performing men don't have a success problem. They have an intimacy problem, and it's quietly killing them. So let's talk about the hidden cost of high performance. As a high performer, you've actually been applauded and celebrated for winning and accomplishing. And most of the time you are validated by having all the answers and having things figured out. That's just what you do. You win. You're a high performer. You're used to performing. Now, the shadow side of this is that anything that doesn't feel certain, where you don't know the answer, that feels vulnerable and feels scary, and your ego will try to get you to not do it because that feels like a risk. And doing what you can control and trying to control that outcome is what you're used to doing. Now, controlling the outcome is great in business. We try to do it as much as we can. That's kind of the whole point, is to go for a specific outcome. But when it comes to growth, internal and spiritual growth, trying to control the outcome to go the way that you think it should go is one of the biggest traps, because a lot of times growth looks like doing something that you've never done before. Sometimes your soul will ask you to go in a direction that you've never experienced, have a conversation that feels scary. And for most high-performing men, being vulnerable in a relationship, even in a business partnership, saying they don't have the answer, sharing an uncomfortable truth, can feel so scary that they'll double down on what's not working. They'll do more performing, more of what they know to get validation, more of what they know to feel safe. And it's actually the biggest trap, because as a high-performing man, you know that time is the greatest asset. It's the one resource that you never get back. And this is how you can waste years of your life stuck in a loop of what's not working, feeling secretly unfulfilled, even though you have success on paper. And I would know this because I went through this in my life. When I was in my late 20s, as I approached my shift, or what some people call Saturn return, this is the period of life from around age 27 to 32 that's a bit like spiritual puberty. It's when the entire identity that you built for yourself in your early 20s and in your 20s starts to crack. And anything that's not rooted in deep truth starts to crumble. For me, I was in a DJ duo, living in Hollywood, traveling full-time, touring, playing shows, living a rock star life that I'd always dreamed of. And it was great for the first couple years until it wasn't. And even though I had girls and money and success and fame and all of the markers of success on paper, I started to secretly feel unfulfilled internally. And rather than admit that, have the tough conversations, and take actions in alignment with that truth, I decided to avoid it, numb it out with drinking, distractions, girls, drugs. Luckily not to a heavy extreme, but to a point where my body started to shut down on me. And I had crazy numbness attacks for a year, and they got worse and worse and worse. And finally, on the last one, I just said to myself, I can't do this anymore. I need to listen to my body. And more importantly, I need to listen to my soul and what my soul is asking of me. And once I made that decision and I started going to shows sober and really being present with the people I was surrounding myself with, the decisions that I was making, and the man that I was becoming, it became really clear to me, oh my gosh, like this isn't what I want anymore. This isn't who I am. And actually taking actions that are aligned with who I wanted to become, who I knew I was deep down inside, was a scary process, because it really meant letting go of everything that I knew that was certain. It meant letting go of all the external markers of success and all that certainty, because success on paper is paper thin, and I wanted something deeper than that. Now, for me, I didn't have all of the awareness and the tools and the support that I have now, that I've developed over time. So it led me into a 3-year, very challenging dark night of the soul, where I got to go deep into myself and learn and grow and see all the ways that I wasn't owning my value, or ways that I was abandoning myself. And although it was a really challenging time for me, it's a challenging time that I would never want to do again, but I would never change what I went through. It really left me with the golden nuggets that I'm so grateful for in my life at this point. But some of those nuggets that I'd love to share with you in this video is the number one thing. If you want to navigate your shift, your Saturn return, this initiatory period of your life with ease and grace, the one thing I want you to know is the degree to which you hold on to your old identity is the degree to which you suffer. So what does this mean? It means that the more open you can stay to what is wanting to emerge through you and as you, the more you can trust that and surrender to that, the easier the whole process will be. It's really the holding on to the old identity and the resistance to the change that makes it so painful. This is where the health crises come in. This is where the brutally painful relationship breakdowns or brutally painful business ruptures happen. The more you can listen, make space, meditate, journal, have guidance, coaching, a men's circle, any way that you can really have the space to share your truth and be in touch with it during this journey, you're going to be way ahead of people who don't have that. The second thing that I want you to know in this as well is it's so important to have people who see you as the version that you want to become, or who have a blank canvas of who you are to them, so that they can support the you that you're becoming. Most people that are stuck in their Saturn return or stuck in a part of their life that they want to grow away from are trapped by the people who see them as the version that they've been their whole life. These are the old friends from high school who see you as the same person you were back then. These are the coworkers or business partners or people who are partying with you who see you as that version of you. And when you try to change, especially if it's going into a bit of an opposite direction, they will challenge that version of you and try to keep you as the version that they know, because it makes sense. That's who they know you to be, and that's the version of you they fell in love with. But that can be a really big trap for if you're in a period of change in your life. So make sure you have either men's circle, a support group, a coach, or just people who are living the embodiment of where you want to be and where you want to go. That's why I'm so passionate about the school community that we created called Live Your Truth. It's full of men who have walked their initiation through the shift and are living lives of deep truth and authenticity and alignment on the other side. And if you want to be surrounded by men like that and us, check the description below. You have all the information you need there. I think the biggest thing that can support you through the shift is this belief that you can't lose what's meant for you. I see this all the time with clients that have come to me in a really painful period of their life when they were just so afraid of speaking their truth because they felt like everything was going to crumble to the ground and they would lose it all. So they were trying to control the outcome by making choices that weren't true or weren't aligned. And so much of the letting go process was feeling safe enough to speak the truth, knowing that they can't lose what's meant for them. If it didn't feel right and they spoke that truth and that ended, well, it was meant to be. And there was always something better waiting on the other side. It's always been that way. You wouldn't be feeling the feelings of there's something off if there wasn't something better waiting for you and calling to you on the other side. I think one of the saddest things would be to be a high-performing, achieving, successful man, but to actually not have any close, intimate relationships in life. It's like you built this entire empire and you have success on paper, but either there's no one to share it with, or the people that you have to share it with don't actually know who you really are because you never express the version of you that you really are inside because of a fear that it wouldn't be accepted. It would just be the ultimate prison. An invisible prison that you live inside of that no one knows but you. And if that's where you are, I want you to know that there's a better way. There's a way of living where you can just be you. That your only job really is to know your truth, speak your truth with love, and take actions in alignment with that truth. And when you're able to actually taste and embody the feeling of what that feels like, there's no going back. There's an anchor of authenticity and truth that you can feel that's just like, once you have it and you have that as a foundation, you never want to give it up. And you can feel when you do sacrifice that in places, and it's a matter of just cleaning those things up as they happen. But yeah, that's what it means to live in integrity and to be solid as a man.
I think that's why it's important. Even I feel it's important for you and for that person to surround themselves with people that encourage them to be you.
Yeah.
And I think like if you can also tell them like you have a men's circle every Monday.
Yeah.
You invite a bunch of them also in here. You can tell more about that, because I feel like you can join a school community, but you can also just doesn't have to.
Yeah.
Find people around you that encouraging you to be you, that just punishing you for you not being you.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all about the support and the mirrors, right? I talk about this in other videos. If you had something written on your forehead, but there was nothing to see your reflection, how would you know there was something written on your forehead? You would have no idea. And you would only start to realize that there was something on your forehead when you would interact with other people and you see them staring at your forehead or looking at you funny. You might start to deduce, is there something on my forehead? Why is everyone looking at me like that? And the best way to tell what was written on your forehead would be to find a really clear mirror and a clear reflection, because you could see what's there and you can see what you need to do to get it off, and you can see if there's still remnants. Like the clearer the mirror, the easier it is to determine what you need to do to fix that. And so in life, we need mirrors. We need people who can reflect things to us, and it's so vital that their mirror is actually clear, that the way that they see the world is through a clear lens, with integrity, with love, and not with a bunch of projections and bullshit. Because once again, like, you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So the more clear the people are around you in their mirrors and their truth, the better you're going to be as well. And for me, like, even though I know all this and I've walked through the initiation of the shift, it doesn't mean that I've just come out on the other side and I never have to worry about coming out of integrity again. I can slip out of integrity easily, and it's about actually being aware of it, catching it, and correcting it. That's why I have a men's circle. I've been in this men's circle here in Bali for 5+ years now. We meet every Monday morning at 6 a.m. on a rooftop by the beach, and we circle up and we get to share around what's happening in our lives, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically. And we have a round that we do every week of accountability. So am I in integrity with the agreements I've made with myself? Am I in integrity with the agreements I've made with others? And as much as we try to be in integrity all the time, as life would have it, sometimes we slip. And it's all about how do we correct that and how do we come back into integrity. So yeah, even though you can know all these things, even though I can know all these things, it's still so important for me to have that level of support, which is why I'm so passionate about creating that type of community online as well with our Live Your Truth community. I think what's coming up for me in closing is just like, why is truth so important? Like, why is it so important? I really feel like truth, love, and God, these really big words, I really feel like they're all pointing towards the same thing. It's this divine energy. And I believe that in moments of my life when I wasn't speaking my truth, I was withholding the truth because of fear, for whatever reason, fear of the outcome, fear of rejection, whatever it was. I was actually withholding, I was preventing the energy that wanted to happen to come into the world and to move. And whenever I've been bold enough or brave enough to own that truth and speak that truth with love, sure, it can be painful or a little messy, but it's actually, it feels like a deep purpose in that moment. It feels like this was meant to be, and it feels like my channel is clear again when I'm able to express that truth with love. And it always creates transformation in the physical world in a way that I believe is really beautiful. The more truth, the more love. And yeah, I really feel like our purpose is to know our truth and speak our truth with love and to take actions in alignment with that truth. I'll keep coming back to that every video, I think, see the same thing. And the beautiful thing of doing these videos is me recognizing how important that is and doing that more and more and more in my own life and in the lives of everyone who watches these videos. So if you've been here and you're watching this, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching all the way through. And remember, live your truth, no matter what.